dog.
Go to bed.
Well, we should be live right now. So, that's great. I'm going to grab the live link here, and we're going to post this. And I'm going to switch over to the studio. Hey, we are in the present today. We've already kind of done a recap on our own. Our little group has talked about some things. I'm grabbing the live link for our friends in Discord and on Twitter. And we're going to jump off with our group rolling perception. We're going to jump right into it. You guys were in the opening of a large, kind of a mine shaft, more or less. Not as rickety, something much higher quality, and huge and deep. You had there was a loud pop with the pressure that was building in your heads, and then relieved all of a sudden. After that, lights went out except for the emergency red little bulbs dotting the ceiling and some of the emergency equipment. But outside of that, you can see the glow of the fire behind you, obviously. Go ahead and roll for me. What you guys got? Perception all, please.
11 for me.
21, 11. Okay. 16. Hell yeah, you guys are seeing all the things. Okay.
I love
28.
Stuff.
Damn.
98.
98. Well, some of you were seeing some things,
Perfect.
you know, and the rest of you were seeing 98s. Do you guys want to take a moment to? And this is not a reflection of that. But do you guys want to take a moment to pray to the Emperor, just as a
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
kind of
Oh,
method
sure.
of recouping?
Prayer. Oh, I rolled a 6.
Since you're having such good luck, I'm gonna try and pray for Lindoa.
I got a 5.
That was a
I got
79.
I
Did you
rolled
really?
a 100.
it too. Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, I can't punish you for that. This is just a prayer.
96.
96.
Enjoy your
Damn,
fate
you
point,
might
Lindo.
want to wash your dice. They dirty.
Lindoa gets a fate point back, or just
He
an
does.
extra one.
Yeah, it's a fate point. So he
I'm
pulled the
gonna
fate
put
point.
that in the chat.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Anybody else 5 or under?
Nope.
Oh, I got a 5.
You got a 5?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Fate point. There you go.
Fucking
It's
Praise be.
Fidus, right, for his character.
It is Fidus. That's right. All right. Twert is out. Whoops, I didn't. Whatever. Who cares? Here we go. Twert. There it is. Now, we Gucci. Now, I'm going to.
Many fate points.
Yeah, the fate points, if you don't know, are basically like a. Can I get a mulligan? It's a mulligan. You just get to kind of coax a better outcome or retry something that utterly, completely sucked. Usually not something done outside of combat or an actual death, but what are you gonna do? Hello, how you doing, Caldwell? So I'm gonna be jumping over to. Well, actually, I'm just gonna stay here for a minute. But we have our group. Everybody's seeing everything. You guys are probably, with the exception of, Baxter. Everybody's seeing quite well. And we're going to have Lindoa kind of toting along with you guys. We're going to assume that we're just going to make some general assumptions and then kind of roll if we need a clutch or something. So, we want to... that's kind of a get out of jail free card for the sake of the fate point. But you guys are in this cave, and you can see that debris is lightly kind of fluttering down in an amount that it wasn't before the pop and alleviation and then the lights going out. This is a pattern now. You've seen that a lot of the places where you've been, the lights seem to be failing. And it isn't always your direct action that is causing it. Do you remember exactly what it was you guys were doing over at the terminal before the Tarzan incident where Sarah swung to safety and then kind of just inched along the piece of rebar.
We were pushing buttons.
There were buttons. Okay. I think that's good enough. Frankly, there were buttons. And
Cool.
basically everybody made it to safety. Nobody got cooked in the lower fires that awaited the team beneath. All good. All good. Now, we do have kind of two ways forward here. You can walk out of the shaft the same way that you came into it, or you can go via pipe. Well, that was actually how you arrived at this one, is it not? You have to forgive me, it's been like a month. Did you guys arrive via pipe or the actual shaft? I thought it was the pipe.
We got here via the pipe.
That's what I thought. So the pipe is how you were brought here. You can leave via the same method if you like. It's up to you. You can go out the main door. There is a large door about half a kilometer away from the hole. Oh, actually away from your position. Yeah, so you have like two directions. You can go door or hole. You guys had already been at the door earlier. That's where you found the controls to maneuver the little trolley.
We go with the hole.
We love hole here.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Sure
hole.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to clarify, hole means the fiery thing that Sarah just Tarzan swung out of?
Yes. Yes.
I thought we meant hole meant the hole that we were leaving from
Okay.
in the pipe.
Oh, okay. So, which is it? Fire?
So
hole?
thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, fire
I
hole,
would like to leave and go further down, not in fire.
pipe hole, or shaft hole? Which
Let's
hole
go
do you
pipe
want?
hole.
Pipe hole?
Pipe hole.
Pipe
We're
hole.
voting
Pipe
pipe hole? Good.
Yeah.
Pipe hole. So pipe hole is go. You guys go to the pipe. It's a familiar scene. Lights are out. Emergency lights on. Again, two directions from this point. Toward the door. Toward the fire. Effectively. It just runs along the floor of this large chasm. It's familiar ground for you. There's not much more to see.
I think we need to go further down.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah.
where
So
we
whatever
came
would
and just
take us
keep
further down.
spelunking.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can go back toward the entrance, the primary shaft where you guys came to this floor from. Now, if we do this, we're going to arrive at a grating that is basically offering a couple different directions of movement and then has more handholds that continue downward. Great. You have an increasingly difficult time. I believe it's D-Beck who took climbing, is that right?
Yes. I have
So-
climbing plus 10.
Everyone, with exception to, I want to say Gaius. Isn't that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Everyone with exception to Gaius is going to be having an increasingly difficult time the further down we go. And I would like everybody to once again roll perception, please.
Joke's on you, I have climbed now.
Ooh, good. Well, there we go.
37.
37,
35.
11, 35.
91.
What is this?
Oh.
Dude, that is like your third 90. Did you get them all out of the way? Just getting
I
all those
hope
rolls
so.
out? Okay.
Sorry, is this
Okay.
perception?
Yeah, it's a perception check.
Yeah, I got a 48.
48. Okay. So, with this, you've entered that shaft. You make your way across the scaffolding. You navigate over to the handholds that you've seen and used now a couple times, and you keep moving down in the service pipe. You see that there are kind of dried, just bits of gook, but nothing really discernible. Dust, dirt, a lot of wear is on these, but it's nothing that stands any kind of sniff test. There's nothing that's raising alarms or seems suspicious. You can continue down for a while until you get to a large, flat grate. That's the next stop for you guys. You guys don't have a lot more to see here. It's a large, whereas before, the grating, the kind of gross, just meant for maintenance or standing, now completely covers the entire way down in the pipe. There are 2 directions to move in. We're going to call them forward and backward. The forward and backward directions, if we take our attention over to the screen, are... Oh, okay. My camera seems to be off. Anyway, we can see here that we have a way forward and we have a way backward. Again, just for some perspective. And the floor, so to speak, of this pipe is now grating. We have 2 ways to continue here. Forward and backward. There is also a chance for yet another perception check, please.
Perception!
Perception.
Ugh, 72.
83.
39.
56.
56.
34.
All right, so you can see, I would say the lowest, was it the 30? What was the lowest one?
Minus 34.
That's what I thought, 34. So you have ahead of you, because it's not going to be a very, very difficult thing, although there are only emergency lights working, you can see that there's a door to the rear, so to speak, and you have a door in front of you. That one, it doesn't seem to be working. There's a terminal there, but it's fried. The door seems to have been pulled off of its kind of mechanisms for opening and closing, and there are scorch marks down the hallway of that kind of ripped open door.
Okay.
Thoughts, suggestions, comments?
Wow, I wonder what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
We can take a look.
Sure. Well,
It's a
what
door
does that look
around
like?
the door, you said,
Percept
right?
it.
What do you say? Sarah?
Let's percept it.
Well, so you can
Yes.
go to the door. You can check out the terminal and see what's going on. You can keep going down that hallway. You can go backward to see the door that's closed.
I want to look at this door that's closed.
All
Is there
right.
another terminal?
Yeah, there's a terminal right next to the door. You can use a tech check to kind of bring it to life. You can see that it has a faint green hum. There are a couple red backlit buttons, but it's old. It's high quality, but it's very, very, very old.
Obligatory. So these doors, so one door is blown open, or at the very least the mechanisms are fucked up. The other door, does it look functional?
The other door is, so one door has a computer next to it. It's closed as you would see a closed door. And the other door across from you is kind of wrenched from its fitting. And it's pried away such that someone forced access. And the terminal next to it is overloaded. It seems to have completely been fried. And so we're at the door right now that has the working terminal and the door that's closed. And were you going to do a tech check? Were you just going to try and use some
Just
percussive?
whisper delicately at it?
Yeah.
But no, tech check. God, Petal's intelligence is not high. 39? What is
39?
Petal's intelligence?
Well, that's actually enough.
Yeah.
39, it's an easy check. So there are no penalties, and your able to roll this at no consequence. So you have basically woken it up. The lights glow brighter. Currently the most lit thing in the room. Everyone sees your backlit silhouette there. You can see that the pressure is normalized. Pump is deactivated. Ready for use. Door accessible.
What do they mean by a pump? Petal says out loud.
Maybe it's a really heavy door.
Maybe it's
think
operated
that-
by water.
I think that means it will pump the water out. We're in the piping system.
Oh,
Open says Petal. I slap the buttons.
All right. Open says pedal. You slap the buttons, and with your tech roll, again, it's just ready for the door. You find, on the other side, 2 servo skulls in power down mode. They're currently sleeping. They're on power reserve. Their functions are all but completely shut off, and they have a thick layer of dust. You know, the eye sockets and the mouth, just about everywhere. They've just been sitting there against this side of the door.
Oh, sick, free bones.
Does
Bones.
anybody
I
interact?
picked them up.
Pick them up? Alrighty. And we have a tech use here. We have a social use. You can...
My fellowship is way higher than my tech. I'll just
Yeah.
be like, hey, wake up. Hey. And I'll shake them like a snow globe.
They jar awake and start emitting a binary chatter at you.
Well, beep, beep, borp, borp to you too. I'm Petal.
They have more binary chatter. Just basically the AOL sign-on is what they're spewing at you.
Oh, God, awful. Turns out they're not really bones, they're servo skulls. Less cool.
Do I have anything that can help? I've got logic.
I have so many peers. I don't know if a bunch of peers helps me in this situation.
Oh,
Can I just try tech using them?
can you try tech using them? Yes, you can do that.
3!
You rolled a 3.
Oh.
Yeah!
You you know exactly what they're saying. And more than that, you actually
Yay, me.
understand it to be so... It's so clear to you that they actually know your name. They call out and they say, Arbide Ilana, we were under the care of Arbide Cece. We need to return to Cece. Estimate time of departure from caretaker, 600 years.
dang.
I translate that to the group, and I'm like, okay, 600 years. I asked them if they know where Cece's location is.
They hum for a minute, and you can see that the light behind the eyes dims as they divert power into the processing of that question. And then the lights brighten slowly as they answer in the negative. They're now asking if you wish to transfer care to yourself.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to say yes.
All right. You have now 2 servo skulls with very, very low power under your care.
Okay, I want to ask them what they were doing down here. I need information, Servo Skulls.
They again dim the lights behind the skull's eyes, just going to barely visible, and then brightening. Unknown. Last request, mapping of service tunnel.
Okay, can I have them download their maps to my tablet?
Certainly. They do.
All right, I'm gonna ask them to do that.
And it pretty well mirrors your adventure with one exception. They did... Well, it's all just basically the same. It's what you've seen. They actually came down very similar pipes and found themselves kind of in this pipe via the kind of backward journal. They came down one of the great lifts, it seems. They took a detour into some of the pipes. They came across individuals, unknown, and they were told to survey that drain system, and they were stuck.
They came across individuals unknown?
They did.
Was it Zetos?
I think it was people.
Boy,
Down here?
Yeah, they didn't recognize them as hive denizens.
Hmm.
Maybe it's
What
the
would-
tourists.
people just hanging out around out here in the muck and dust.
Maybe. Do the skulls know where their human group went?
No. In fact, if you can put them back in touch with Cece, they'd be very thankful.
Okay. Well, these guys are looking for their mistress. Currently, they're going to be under my care, I suppose. She gently pats them on their little servo skull heads. But I share the map with the rest of the group.
Well, okay, if there's some friggin' weirdos down here, are there still weirdos down here? Like, after all this time?
I suppose there could be.
Well, I mean, we're here.
And who's stranger than that?
Okay, well, if they were stuck behind this door, then which way should we go? Because were they forward or back?
They were what I was calling the rear. It's this one over here on the right.
Okay.
They saw very little to do in this actual tunnel here.
So we should go the other direction.
You could. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So you continue down that path. You have a kind of, well, you can walk past the terminal, you can investigate the terminal. It's fried and the metal has been pried away so that the door here with scorch marks all over it, entering that sect of the tunnel there. It is all just kind of lightly tinged with fire. It's perhaps a little ominous, but it doesn't seem to pose you any direct threat. Not at the moment.
Wait, so the tunnel is on fire?
Not on fire, tinged. It's been touched by, it's been kind of scorched,
Scorched? Okay,
as if
copy.
fire had kind of forced its way in here.
The scorch marks
Okay.
means it's faster.
Mm-hmm. It's like being painted red.
You think so, Petal?
I do. It's scientifically proven. I'll send you all the studies. They're riveting.
I think we should take a look. But we can send the servo skulls first.
Okay, so you can do that. They'll go ahead, and they want to know how far ahead you want to go. Remember, it's a maintenance tunnel.
Are they going to be able to go far if they don't have a lot of power?
Adventure!
How far are they going to be able to relay messages back to you?
I don't know. I want to send them to just beyond my field of view.
Okay. So, they are able to do that, and they can carry out that request, but they move a little slowly. It's not going to be much more than your walking speed, and if they were to divert all power due to your miraculous roll earlier, they were able to communicate to you that they could go at a jogging pace, but not for long.
No, they can go slowly. Are there any data pads or doors here?
There is the data pad in the terminal, kind of, if that's what you mean. That's a little fried at the entrance, but beyond that, it is just a path for a while.
I would like to be the one going at a jogging pace.
Okay. So you kind of move ahead of the group and eventually overtake the servo skulls.
Yeah, I'm just gonna scout ahead.
All
I'm gonna
right.
see some weird underground freaks.
Well, you continue for a while, and the first thing of note that you arrive at, and I don't mind telling you outright because it's not going to be a painfully difficult thing to see, it is going to be a set of doors. One to your immediate left and one to your immediate right. Again, you're in a tube, a service pipe, a pump pipe, perhaps. It's hard to say because you're not really sure. But this here was it seems the way in and out of this pipe. The doors have red lights above them in grates, and there isn't much in the way of a terminal that you can see any use out of with either door.
The doors look operational, like they got handles on them.
They do.
Pedal's opening the left door.
They have a kind of a crank. It's like a wheel. It's stiff, but you're opening it up, and roll perception.
Where's Ooh, an 8.
An 8. Hell yeah. So, rolling an 8, you see a very, very, very large tunnel. This was, of course, bored by the people who were here before you, and you can see, with an 8 anyway, that the room, despite very little lighting, just the emergency lights up above, just like pinpricks of red lighting, is oddly visible. It kind of jars you how well you can see despite the size and relative lack of lighting within the room. You can see directly across from you large sheets of metal seem to have been secured to the rock face. And it looks of a quality much poorer than the quality of the rest of the human interference that you've seen around you. It looks shoddy, so to speak. And a large rune of some sort has been engraved into it.
I'd like to do. Is there any way that we can see if we recognize the rune?
You can recognize the rune as one of those you see in the weird book you carry.
Interesting.
But you're not exactly sure what it means.
No. Are there any other runes nearby, or is it just the one big one there?
Well, I suppose with an 8, you can see a little bit further. Does anybody else have some other bit of information? Somebody else want to roll perception? You guys have caught up by now, I imagine.
I will.
Yeah.
All right.
4.
You rolled a 4?
Alana's doing good today.
All right.
15.
You rolled a 4. And you rolled a 15? Okay. So, a 15 and a 4 and an 8. And what was yours, Pilar?
17.
17. And how did Baxter roll? We get any more 90s?
57.
That's okay. We're climbing out. That's all right. 2 50s in a row. Well, this is all pretty good. And in fact, you see that there are some runes that are on very, very similar shoddy erected pieces further down the hall. And you can see that there's one direction that leads to the shaft that you've been kind of seeing here and there. It's the main shaft that, from the maps on the servo skulls, connects ultimately to the Great Lift, but you don't have access to because of floor 4. And you can see that there is what appears to be weapon fire further down the tube. It's much, much further, perhaps at the end, but it's a very, very large tunnel, and you're not quite able to make it out. And for whatever reason, the weapons fire seems to be, despite, again, the abnormal level of light in this room, the weapons fire does seem to be in darkness.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Thank you. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
So you leave the pipe,
Yeah.
roll
Take a
willpower.
look at those weird
Yep.
weapons fire. Oh no. Who could have predicted
45.
this?
45? What's your willpower?
Yeah. My willpower is 30.
30. And you rolled a 45.
Yes.
You feel the moment your heel hits the ground, euphoria. It's like a jolt. It shoots up through your heel, almost like stepping on a rock in bare feet, but the opposite sensation. It fires up through your nervous system like lightning. It makes even the pads of your fingertips feel good. You are very happy to find that when the next footfall lands, you feel the same thing. Lightning all the way up, but a little less exhilarating. This continues with each footfall, which you compulsively make to maintain this connection with this euphoria. You walk forward about 18 steps into the cavernous tube in front of you. And it's about after that 18th step that euphoria has diminished to nothing, and you find yourself missing the feeling. You said you were going to walk down the tube?
Yeah.
All right.
Now I'm a little sad, so I'm gonna walk sadly down the tube.
I think that's
Oh, what
fair.
a sad walk.
Where are your servo skulls? Are they still walking in front of you?
Yeah, they're
Or
still.
floating in front of you?
Yeah, they're in front of me, but they're not too far away.
All right. And is everyone following?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you communicating any of this to your team, Sarah?
No, she's so wrapped up in the weird feeling that she doesn't even think to say anything about it.
Okay. So, let's have everybody follow in kind, and as you do, I need a willpower check from each of you, please.
23.
23.
Oh, fuck.
What'd you get?
7.
Ooh!
I got a 98.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Okay, we'll deal with Pilar's last. How are we doing? Baxter, what's up?
I got a 20.
A 20! That's not so bad. You guys do feel some of the euphoria as you walk out. We've got the kind of lingering longing for it. It's just kind of hanging out briefly, and it dissipates just after a couple steps, only a step for our 7. And it's something you just kind of wave away as some kind of a dopamine rush, maybe a memory of childhood because you smelled something. You just kind of hand wave it off. Now, our 90-something. Well, so Zuri just kind of...
No, this is Pistol.
Oh, Pistol,
present,
excuse
right?
me.
Not
This is
the past.
Pistol.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong card,
Yeah.
pardon me. So Pistol brings one footfall out of the pipe. The other doesn't leave the pipe before you're weak in the knee. You collapse to the ground, trying to mash as much surface area to the dirt as possible.
Nice. That's exactly what I was picturing.
Yes.
That's what I was going to do.
Your sensations are beyond euphoric. You have no control over yourself. You just start taking off clothes to push as much skin to stone as possible. The rest of the group is watching. You're doing... What do you want to do? There's not really much we can do here for... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, at a certain point, I essentially start doing, like, naked dirt angels in the...
Yeah, very, very,
I mean,
very much so.
All right, pistol party.
So I have a lot of lore.
Oh, yeah.
Like the occult, heresy, cults, legend. Would any of those be helpful? And
Yes,
sussing
yes,
out what
indeed.
this is. I also have
Yes.
total recall, so I know about everything I've read.
Okay.
Nice.
So here is the... by the way, I'm appearing just for a moment because I have to change some things here. I've been fighting Windows 11 while we've been going on. And the heresy, you said it was heresy, and then what else do you have?
I have heresy, cults, and the occult,
Okay. And so...
along with legend, Imperium, and the Arbites.
Okay, so you have the ability to... Wow, okay. Go ahead and give me a... That's going to be an intelligence check. I need you to give me an intelligence check, please.
It's a 41.
41. Okay, so you are with what intelligence? What do you have?
38.
38. So you've got a 1 degree of failure, but it's not enough to overcome what you've read. You have perfect recollection, and it's going to help your recalling this sort of thing. So, you know that there are definitely no records of this rune in any of the heretical databases you've seen. There aren't. Now, that doesn't mean it's not heresy, because it does seem silly with what you've seen. And can I get one more time? You have how many of the lores? And to what level?
They're all just basic.
They're all just basic? Okay.
Yeah. So I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 6 of them?
Okay. And that's great. So we have, there we go. Now I'm on the right side. So we have a basic understanding that this is silly shit, and you've seen things like what Pilar is experiencing here, what the naked writhing. You've seen that, and you've felt the sensation, the pull that must be pulling on her. and you recognize that this is very probably some heretical nonsense, but you're not sure of what degree, and what you make of that is yours. It's nothing on file.
Okay, I'm
Make a file on it.
exactly. But I'm gonna let my colleagues know that this is some heretical shit going on here.
Okay.
We best be careful.
Hey, Pistol, how would you rate your experience on a scale of 1 to 10 right now?
If you wish to speak, you'll need to roll willpower first.
Okay. A 4.
Okay. You
Where was
shake
that
the
before?
sensation, realize that you're now naked among colleagues. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it does leave you a little exposed. The temperature? Warm. Almost tropical. Balmy. Really. What's up? You're now free to speak about the cabin.
Oh,
I hate you.
so Pistol stands up because, and realizes that she's very dirty and naked, and it's like, I don't know exactly what's come over me, but that's it's good dirt.
Great
Good
dirt. Really, really good. Really nice dirt.
It reminds me, I guess, of what I think Terran dirt might be like.
Ooh.
At least I hope.
One day you hope to find out.
And yes, indeed, I do hope to find out one day what it might really be like. But Emperor willing. But yeah, and
Okay.
so what did you guys find? And then I start putting my clothes back on,
Yeah.
my gear.
So
Well,
you
I
guys-
was just gonna look at those scorch marks over there, and then you just started like.
well, the scorch marks are
rising.
down the tube from the way you came. Here, there's actual
I mean,
weapons
the
fire.
gunfire, the
happening.
weapons fire.
Oh, that. It's active weapons fire. There appear to be
Oh,
what appear to be actual las, and from what you can make out, again, it's kind of shrouded in darkness. You can't hear anything, which is odd. And it is active. It could be plasma. You're really not sure.
Oh.
Oh, what the fuck's all that?
Don't know. We should find out.
Our biteys ho.
Yes.
Ilana
I guess
draws her weapon.
same. Once I get everything back on, I'll pull the needle pistol and then maybe move towards the side of the wall or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Straight down the center.
So you're kind of taking a more cautionary approach rather than whoosh, straight up, right down the middle.
Yeah,
All right.
at least for me.
Okay. So, you've got that. Lovely. You have the whole party with you. How's everybody else doing? How are we going to treat this? What's going on?
Heather doesn't
I'm going to
use
approach
ranged weapons.
cautiously. Yeah, with my weapon drawn.
All right. Weapons drawn. You have a... right down the center. You said cautiously. You're going to be hugging a wall. There's not much in the way of cover here. Some boxes, some crates, some of them made of steel, some of them made of wood. There's debris. Maybe some of the boxes have rotted away. It's hard to tell. You just kind of
Petal's
moving along
gonna-
the side of the wall. There is the
Petal's gonna
pipe.
skulk forward on the side of the wall, just like probably a little bit ahead of everyone, just
Okay.
like picking up the pace because he's short. but not right down the middle. But he is like with intent heading towards the weapon fire.
Okay, I would like everyone to roll agility, please.
Jokes on you. My agility's so high. Don't fuck me, dice.
24.
24
5.
from Roland, 5 from Teabag.
24
Did I hear a
from
4 from
Pilar.
Pilar?
6.
I got a 24, and then Roland got a 6.
I got a 42.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Okay, and Lindoa got a 9. So,
Get
y'all
it,
are
Lindoa.
moving very, very, like, just ghosts in the dark. It's fantastic. Really, really super duper. Now, I would like, please, Pilar, roll a willpower check.
Okie dokie. 57.
57. Fantastic. So you roll 57. What is your willpower?
My willpower is 32. No, wait.
32.
40. Sorry.
40. Is it 40 on the dot?
Yes.
Okay. I would like you to note that you will be receiving a slight temporary debuff in this room. And it's going to be a debuff to the tune of 5, which is super unfortunate because you're looking at round numbers for your multipliers.
Yeah.
But 35 is currently where it's at. And
Okay.
you do have 2 degrees of failure here. And you feel it before anybody sees it. There appears to be, in the room that is unusually well lit, a kind of flicker in the visibility. Almost as if somebody were moving a light switch up and down. And then down. The visibility that you had grown accustomed to just in the last couple minutes and started to count on that you had used to navigate so far washes away. None of the abnormal visibility is present any longer where you're standing. You see a lot of sparks and feel through the earth as large, well, through the dirt, I should say, through the ground, as the large plates that the weapon fire seem to be focused on dislodge and thud to the ground. You are, for poor Pistol here, you are hit with a migraine, just in an instant, and for about 30 seconds, as the plates fall and their resonance dissipates. And we have, as I said, weapon fire focused in that direction. It seems to have ceased. You're still moving toward it, still haven't been seen. But you are moving in much greater darkness now than you were a moment ago. Still moving toward the fire?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyone going to make any kind of moves before you approach the source?
Alana switches her flashlight on, but like holds it down towards the ground.
Puddle goes into a frenzy.
Oh no.
Is that true?
No, I need
Okay.
to see if there's an enemy first.
Okay. So,
Yeah, so I'm gonna switch my flashlight on because I don't have. Lindoa is the one who has the super good goggles.
Oh, yeah.
So Alana's
He rolled a
just going to
96
turn
for
her
his perception
flashlight
check.
on. Oh no.
so we're not going to count it.
Yeah, she's gonna turn her flashlight on, and point that towards the ground, but do like the cop-tastic sweeping motions.
Okay. Now, I just want to remind you, you're in a giant open tube.
Yeah.
And so you have your pistol, las pistol or something, right? And you have your flashlight underneath, and you're kind of just
does
doing
she
this,
have?
right? Are you gun down, gun up? What's the move here?
Gun is up, and also she is using a shotgun.
Okay, shotgun. That's going to be a little more difficult.
Yeah. I don't think she can actually use her flashlight and the shotgun at the same time.
I don't think so.
Alright, just shotgun.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And with the shotgun, you're up front, pedal. I would like a perception check from you, please. And please, sir, a perception check for your servo skulls. It's going to be very, very
Those turbo skulls.
sensory-based, right?
Well, they got a
These don't
77.
Not without special
Which
attachment.
sense? Hearing?
This is going to be everything.
Sick, because I have heightened senses on hearing and sight. So that's an 18 on die. My perception is a 30. It's so bad.
Okay. So, but you do succeed, though. It was an 18 on the dice and a 30, so you had technically 2 degrees of success. So, what we're looking at is a team, it looks like. Organized, human, in nature. Your skulls, Sarah, pick up heat from weapons and weapons fire on the tunnel wall, but there's not much more they can discern. It's really not clear to them. If they had access to greater scanning power, they might have been able to pull a little bit more, but they had to shut it off because it was starting to overload.
Yeah, they did their best.
But they can see the weapons fire, and their lack of power is actually serving as a accidental stealth bonus because they aren't really presenting much noise, because they aren't whirring too much. They don't have much light because they're low power. It's a benefit. It's an accidental benefit. But we do see here that Petal up in the front is able to hear a conversation. That there should be about 6 more. We don't have to move on the next. And then it kind of trails off and you hear the word lieutenant. It's kind of all you hear. The rest is just kind of echoes and jarble.
Scuttles back to Alana and just sort of like yanks at her sleeve, and he's just like, organized. They have a militaristic structure, human military party of some sort. At least they have the weaponry to back it up. So, you know, if we want to announce ourselves as our buddies, puff out the chest, cool. But, like, these might also be the creepy underground dwellers. But they said lieutenant, so, like, they have some sort of structure attached. I'm whispering delicately.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you guys have your pieces. You guys are... You're equipped.
Yeah.
So...
Alana says, okay. Let's see if we can take them by surprise.
What does that mean?
Do I see how many there are?
Basically. Yeah, we want to, like, see... Like, get eyes on this group before they notice us.
You can see that there are 8 flashlights.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I have shit in my pockets. What does Petal have? Because I don't think we picked up grenades in the present.
No.
This is the wrong half of this notebook. Whoopsie. Anyway, you all can plan out your thoughts as I dig through my notes.
The flashlights turn and are moving toward you.
Okay.
They appear to be walking down the dead center of the shaft.
Are there any boxes to the left or right of us on the sides?
Immediately to your left is the pipe that you would have otherwise been in, and it runs the full length of this tunnel. You could place yourself with full cover. It's about 8 feet off the ground, about 3 meters, somewhere in there, off the ground, with the full casing included. And it's just to your left. You could shimmy over that if you're quick enough to obscure yourself. There are a couple crates on the far side of the room in what appear to be very, very well reinforced boxes. You can't see them where you are, but you saw them back when the abnormal level of light was in the room.
Okay. Ilana relays to the rest of the group that it might be for the better if we take cover and announce ourselves as Arbites.
Petal moves to take cover, but also will tell the team, I have 2 flashbangs and a smoke grenade. So in this, like, especially dark area, just FYI.
Everyone is able to hear the word, "Sir, a servo skull."
Yeah.
Very loudly,
Ilana's just
a
like,
man's voice.
oh, god damn it.
And lights beam on and focus on the servo skulls up in front of you about, I mean, like, what, 20 meters? It's not much further in front of you. Is that where they're at? I mean, that's where I'm seeing them in this large tunnel.
Yeah, the servo skulls were ahead. Ilana forgot to call them back.
And the 8 individuals up
there
front
goes our advantage.
begin moving into diamond patterns and encroaching on the servo skulls.
And they have lights with them?
Yes, very, very bright. Almost dangerous.
What does Ilana have with her? She's got flares.
Good job.
And her hook shot. So she is going to basically take cover behind the pipe wall, and she's going to announce that it is Arbites, weapons down, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ah, but Michael Johnson, they didn't say it was Lieutenant. They heard the word Lieutenant. So, we have the servo skulls gently floating back towards Sarah, and both diamond patterns are following them, as if they had asked the skulls to take us to where your owner is.
Those skulls are narcs.
And they're following you, waving the area, rolling very poorly. So I'd like you guys to
Good for them.
roll another check for agility to see how hidden you're remaining.
Okay.
8.
Oh,
8.
God, 37.
3.
What is yours?
13.
13.
57.
57?
Yep.
I know I got a 73, but he's not going to be a detriment no matter what happens. So he's just kind of sliding away with Baxter over here. They slip into the darkness. And everybody else is levels of hidden. They're rolling quite poorly. I haven't seen something lower than a 70. So, despite superior numbers in tech, they just kind of start following in 2 spread out diamonds toward Sarah's position.
Yeah, I'm going to announce as Arbites. So Ilana, she has her weapon at the ready, and she is behind in cover, and she just goes, Arbites, weapons down.
Immediately, all 8 of the lights snap toward you, and someone says, Hold. Are you the local Arbites?
Well, locals a little,
Yes.
You hear
Yeah.
from the darkness.
Yes.
Are you the ones responsible for these glyphs?
Absolutely not.
Have you come as a search party? Did you detect our presence?
We have not detected any presence. We were sent down for recon. Identify yourselves.
Recon. Recon for what?
Identify yourself.
She repeats for them to identify themselves.
There's a long pause, weighing the decisions, what to do here. I represent an Inquisitor. Do you have any contact with the surface?
Ilana checks her... whatever, her little earpiece thing. Do we have contact with the surface?
No. I ask you again, do you have any contact with the surface? Were you sent to investigate our presence?
Ilana responds in the negative. She says, "Negative, sir," because he's identified himself as an inquisitorial agent.
Lower your weapons. I don't want to take you into custody, but we will if we have to.
Yeah, she does it.
Yep.
They are unaware of anyone
Alright.
else, so
Yeah,
whether
it's
you
just
remain
me.
hidden or not is up to you.
Just
She
Uh,
said
hidden.
we, and so the person
know.
knows that there's multiple.
Yeah, but not how many. And also maybe her pedal.
Petal got a 3 on his stealth
No,
check.
Petal-
He's gone.
no idea.
Okay.
They're,
Well, I know you were whispering to yourself. I don't know if they heard that.
no.
Okay, great. So Alana lowers her weapon. She actually holsters it and then kind of steps out with like her hands kind of like spread.
Okay. So you kind of come out in a submissive, like, hey, I'm not trying to get fucked up today kind of a thing.
Yeah, she's already met one Inquisitor today, and also, you know, everybody knows how spooky the Inquisition is. She's not attempting to get shot here.
Hmm.
And she says, Arbite Ilana Morgan, sir.
How many are in your party?
How many are in our party? I can't count.
She counts the servo skulls, and that's it.
It's me and these servo skulls.
I'm so good.
Ilana is not a natural liar, so she is going to tell the truth. And that is going to be Lindoa, Polar, Roland, me, D-Beck, Nigel, servo skulls. 8?
Okay. So you report back accurately. Is anybody else coming out of cover?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Where are your party? Are you alone? Are you a scouting mission?
Not alone. Scouting mission, sir.
They begin to frisk
Not
you,
alone.
and they're patting you down for information.
Can I look at them and see if I, like, recognize anything? Them, anything on them? If they're wearing
Roll
any
for
identifying...
your perception. You're going to be rolling at an extreme disadvantage. They have almost weapons-grade lights pointed at your face.
4!
You got a 4?
Fuck yeah, do you want to come in and look at it?
No, I believe you. That's insane. You guys are doing really, really well. So you kind of blink away and stare through the pane, and you can see that a kind of tacky white eye, capital I, has been just it's like a glossy stamp on the helmet and on the chest piece of this individual, and it's just again, it's quite tacky, but it's large. It's like the full pec, and like just really doofusly right on the front and on the sides of the helmet, and but it's a capital I that you associate with the Inquisition.
Okay, so most people aren't out here pretending to be the Inquisition. So, at least Alana wouldn't think so. So she answers all of the questions that they ask. She says that she is not alone. She is with a group. The Servo Skulls here, and also 6.
Are you telling them where the group is?
No, she's not giving them exactly where they are, but she does say that she is with a group. However, we were unsure of what we were going to find down here, so they are now free to step out, she says, as she's like kind of eyeing that inquisitorial seal.
Okay. And? Do you?
Yep.
Okay.
No.
No? Okay. And some of you do. Lights snap to your positions, and different people move toward you. Lower your weapons. Please submit to a search. Did we have everybody coming out except for Baxter?
Oh, Petal's definitely not. He's
Okay.
fucking scum, dude. Like, he's waiting.
Okay. And what about Pilar? What are we doing?
I step out.
You step out?
Roll a die on it.
Okay. So go ahead and everybody who stepped out, please roll fellowship.
Ooh. 97.
Pistol, no.
I know.
So
I even switched die.
what we're going to do here with that lovely, lovely figure is assume that you take a perhaps accidental hostile stance. And it's nothing that you're doing on purpose, but you just kind of come out and they're like, lower your weapons. And you're like this? And you kind of just wave the pistol, like, this weapon? This is the one you want? And just kind of, dangerously
I got multiple.
pistol. And they move on you pretty quickly. And they don't tackle you, but they apprehend you pretty quickly and start searching you vigorously. One of them pulls out a book. The book that you've been kind of carrying around.
Oh yeah, my not heretical text.
Definitely. And you
Love
hear,
that.
sir,
I love that.
runes. It's the same glyphs as the wall.
We
And-
found that in our search. Doesn't belong to us.
I was holding it for someone else.
I promise they're not mine. I promise.
Okay. Is anything else going to happen here? Anyone else going to say anything? No? Okay. So the individual who pried the book from you moves over to the person he keeps calling sir, hands the book off, and this individual says, I ask you again, on behalf of the Inquisitor Leotis, are you the ones representing these glyphs?
And
We are
Alana
not.
emphatically says, no, sir. We were sent down here by another Inquisitor. And she's like, I can't believe there's more than one. In order to investigate such, and then she kind of like side-eyes the book, heresy? Because it's looking
Heresy
pretty
question
heretical.
mark?
Yeah.
How many did you
Looking
say
pretty
were in your party?
heretical.
8.
Have you split to a different corridor? I would like to collect of each of you before returning to the Inquisitor.
They may have.
And you're still rocking that 90 something. You want to give me another one?
Sure.
They maybe would have fight about it.
Oh no. Oh
we
no.
doing?
That one's a 98 instead of a 97.
no.
You are.
Van Alman. We'll find them. The rest of you, on your knees, hands behind your head. We're apprehending the rest of your... Well... And, he's kind of thumbing through the pages and then closes it, shaking his head.
Ilana very emphatically says, "We were sent down here by another Inquisitor. If you can contact the surface..." Did we give his name?
No. Nobody asked, but it is emblazoned
Damn that
on
guy.
all of your gear.
Oh, yeah, his shit, Kelt. So she shows her... She's like, my hook shot here. It's emblazoned with his insignia. Kelt. Inquisitor Kelt.
The individual who seems to be in charge moves toward you and looks at it. Is this your idea of a joke?
It is not, sir.
And the man who gave you this sent you.
He did. He believes that there is something going on. I don't know what. Our hive functions perfectly well. But he believes that there is something happening down here. And he sent us down within the tubal structures to investigate it.
Where's the rest of your party?
If the rest of our party would please step out, that would be perfectly wonderful.
Well, you can or you don't have to. I mean, really, it's up to everybody. I'm not trying to force
Yeah,
anybody's hand. This is just what's going on. So don't think there's some kind of narrative push here. It's up to you.
And Alana is not good at lying, and she doesn't like lying, and so
Rule of fellowship.
she's gonna do that. She got a 75.
Okay. Well, he doesn't believe that you are telling the truth, and he knows that Pilar is lying. So they are continuing to search the area, and I would like another check, please, from everybody for agility to remain hidden.
10.
6.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we have Lindoa's 18, we have a 10, we have a 6. You guys are just absolutely absent from vision. You have nothing. You don't have to. Yeah, you're good. So you have every ability to remain hidden, and it's up to you what to do there. How many people are at D-Beck? You said that you did come out with Pilar and with Sarah?
Yes.
Okay. So they have the three of you. They have the servo skulls. And they're searching for about
They're
5 more
missing
minutes.
The other half of our group.
Huh?
They're just missing the other half of our group, which is great.
There seems to be an individual who's speaking with the servo skulls, but it's just out of earshot, and it might be through a manual link or binary. You're not quite sure. It's hard to tell exactly, but you can feel the connection that you have to them kind of wavering. It's not gone, but it's happening slowly. And he's accessing files. The data pad that you had on you is being kind of combed through, and there appears to be somebody having a very, very low-toned conversation with a Vox that you're not privy to. Unless, of course, we get an exceptional hearing check from one in the party. What do we have?
Ooh.
Let's get one.
Hopefully, Petal, he's got the hearing. 62, not
I also rolled a 7. No one touch me.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. So, we have... We're good?
I rolled a 4, and I also have the hearing too.
Oh
Go.
my god, man, you guys are
Alright,
fucking
nice.
crushing today. Excellent.
Woo!
Okay, so with zero problem, you two, especially, are able to hear, yes, sir, that's correct. The Inquisitor's family crest appears to be on the gear they claim to have been given by him. No, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Right away. And he pivots on his toe and begins to come back toward the group. And right now, he kind of has a hushed conversation where you are still unseen if you were hidden, and still on your knees if you weren't. Nope, not talking to each other. He was speaking via Vox to someone. And he says, all right, the three of you up. You're coming with me. And he begins to march, again, dead center, down the opening, or down toward the opening of the main shaft. You are, kind of being passed by. It's really hard to say. Your rolls are so good that there is a lot of darkness, so it's shrouding view, but they're walking like right next to you guys. I mean, just brushing your nose while they walk past our hidden individuals. And the party of what is now 11 plus 2 servo skulls is starting to make their way out of the dark and into the kind of lit area, we'll say abnormally visible area. And they cross the line, and as they do, I would like Pilar to roll that disadvantaged willpower, please.
Okay. Gotta change my die. That's a 1.
Oh, good job
my
changing
gosh.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you do. You actually do feel this change from the unaffected dirt to the affected dirt, we'll call it. When that boot sole hits the new dirt, not only do you resist the feeling, but you understand it a little more. Due to your heavy exposure a moment ago, you understand this warp taint, and you can resist it personally to a greater effect than you would have otherwise. Anytime you are being affected by warp taint, you actually have a +5 to your standing willpower. So you will be able to, with a degree of 5 points of willpower, repel or resist that warp taint. That's permanent. You can just do that forever. And the negative debuff you were experiencing is gone.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the party of 11 plus servo skulls begins walking into the awkward area. And I'd like a willpower check from you guys now who are with the group. Because the Inquisitor's party now has their back to you, who are hiding. But the group being escorted is now in their ranks. They're being kind of led at gunpoint with just their clothing armor. But they're being escorted toward the front of the shaft. And you have better visibility of their actual gear now. Can I get a visible, it's going to be a seeing check from you guys. It's going to be perception based on sight.
Does this include us, the hidden people, or no?
No. Their back is to you, and they're being backlit. You actually can't see that well at all. But everybody who's with the group, 58. D-back, Pilar?
22.
22. And the servo skull, I rolled 4, got a 63. So do you want to get one of the other ones?
16.
11. Good job, Servo Skull.
Okay. So, the 16, you're next to the one, Pilar, that people kept referring to as Sir. You can see that Sergeant Ishtal is the name branded right in the upper portion of the inquisitorial eye. That covers his left pectoral. It's Sergeant Ishtal. You have no other real information, and you have little to no background with the Inquisition itself personally. What you've heard is hearsay, but you've never seen anybody wearing this dorky stuff before. And you also have the Servo Skull here, who is able to recount for you, Sarah, that
Yes.
there is no Inquisitor Leotis on record, and Sergeant Ishtal is not serving in the Imperial Navy.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well,
At least
Alana's
according to
having
the
a
records,
paradigm shift.
the records that the Servo Skull has, there's no indication that this person exists or that they actually do serve in any kind of ranking.
Okay.
In this region.
She's going to file that away for later. There's no real way to convey that to the rest of the team without letting on. So she's just going to hold on to that piece of information.
All right. Now, we have our group who is in wait, who was hiding. Do you follow? Do you pursue?
Well, we know the way back is far better lit than this area. I'm not confident in my ability to hide in a wide open hallway with lights on. But they had to get down here somehow. And I'm just going to check the other side of this room that we saw them approaching from and see if there's another entrance that we missed or didn't see because we didn't make it that far.
Okay. So you can actually move at regular pace. They're moving at quite a clip toward the entrance, and they seem pretty singularly focused. It's not something they're going to be picking up on. They feel like they've pretty well covered this. You're heading back toward the end of the room where they were fighting the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head back that way. And as you do, let's find out what's going on with the other two. So how are we doing, Baxter? What's up?
I think I'm gonna kind of trail. Not pedal. Is it pedal? Yeah,
It's pedal.
So I'll just follow pedal along with what he's doing.
Sounds good. And as you do, you guys are... And Lindoa's going to be sticking right with you, Baxter. So Nigel and Lindoa are just right there. Fidus and Baxter. Baxter and Fidus. Hanging out together. And
Teams back
the...
together.
Oh God, is it the party group all over
It is.
again?
Yeah, it's the OG party crew split.
Oh my god.
I know. So, you have your group here that is kind of apart, going the opposite direction from the group being led to the opening. And you are making your way back. Can I get perception checks from each of you? We got a 10.
Ooh, I mean, 5.
5?
A 12.
A 12. Man! 10, 5, and 12? I hope you guys can keep this up. So, what we have here does appear to be heavy fire. And it appears as though a lot of fire retardant has been used. It appears as though the weaponry that was used around the time that you popped out was the plasma, was the las fire. It seems as though at some point, and again, this is just due to the fact that we have an actual know-it-all here. Somebody who knows quite a bit about the things. And you guys are Arbites, you're trained. So I would say it's not a nerd class. But Nigel's class is definitely one that has a lot more learned experience, and you have that memorization. We also have 2 scum here who have seen their share of perhaps illegal trade. I think it's fair to argue that you would recognize the scorch marks that trail up the wall in a scattered beam as untrained melt-a-weapon fire. It's a horrifying amount of force. But it appears to have ignited sleeping coal reserves in the wall, and flame retardant was used to put it out. One of these figures presumably has flame retardant. Oh, and a melta weapon. So it's a lot of heat these guys are packing with them. So they do, though, appear to have dislodged the heavy metal plates that had been fastened to the ship. I'm sorry, not the ship, the wall. It's like ship plate metal, excuse me. It's like ship plate metal. It's like super, super thick. Up on the wall, and the ruin had been dislodged.
So are Baxter and Fidus with Petal now?
Yeah.
Okay, so, we just look at all that, and I'm like, these idiots are going to get us all killed. Look at this shit. Sloppy.
I quite agree.
I think that's it's not unfair to say. I mean, that's at least they had the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, great job, guys. But no separate entrance on this side?
No, it's just the scorch marks. You can see that there are some metal crates that they didn't seem to bother with. Very, 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 very well secured. Not actually that different from the ones you saw in the room with the little kind of trolley cart business.
Yeah, still no markings of any kind, no branding, no barcodes, just like machined metal cubes.
Pristine in its current state, almost as if it were milled yesterday.
Is there an entrance back into the pipe?
Yeah. There are a few you've passed that just kind of dot the pipe, about a total of 4, from the entrance to the back of this tunnel. Spread equidistantly.
Perhaps it'd be a good idea to hide in there?
Well, we gotta follow him. I don't know if we're gonna really leave our party members to just be walking around with people who have untrained melta weapon fire. Like, what? Why? Sloppy. All of them failed their marksmanship classes like 4 times over. Look at this guy.
And it does
Why
look
they
not great.
While they may be untrained, all I have is a staff.
I forgot about your wizard staff. That's really a hand.
Oh no, I have a staff plus my wizard hand.
Yeah, your
I'm so
chrome, your chrome like mechanicum arm. It's a
My
mechadendrite.
Yeah, I mean, on my hand, all I have are grenades. I don't really do a ton of, like, shooty things. So I guess we could try hiding in there, try and do what we can to, like, scooch our way up or maybe follow. Do you have any signal upstairs? Like, can you get in contact with the Inquisitor? Is your Vox light open?
I check mine.
I'll check mine as well.
Okay. So, you do, to no avail. It is just too thick, and you're nearing bedrock. The density of the dirt, stone around you is just too much.
Well, beans.
Well, so, as you kind of have your conversation, the group up at the front, we'll say, takes a stop, short of the major shaft. And the group kind of peels off to the 2 sides. And they don't really say much to you, but if you provide any hesitation, they give you kind of a jar with the butt of a weapon to kind of have you keep moving. And group splits to the sides. And can I get a perception check from our crew that's being led by the heavily armed group?
71.
71.
9.
9.
Oh,
11.
nice.
All right. You can see that there's a lot of fresh dirt, soot, sediment that potentially came from the ground around you, could have come from the ceiling. You're not really sure, but it's actually very, very fresh. And as you kind of kick the ground here, and we have Pilar's character who's going to know this super well, it's not the earth right here. It's metal directly underneath you. Large pieces of metal. It's not the snow. It's not the stone you've been walking on previously. It's just metal. And as the group splits up, they get to terminals, and they bring all of you to one side. 2 go one way, the rest go the other. The 2 who've moved off to your left, now standing at the opposite end, are accessing just a pad on the wall, and everyone in the area feels the thrum pick up. Some engine somewhere has turned on. You feel shuddering as the large metal plates separate, revealing a shaft that just is very, very well lit, and not from the abnormal nature of this tunnel, but it's a large metal shaft. And as you do, you see a lot of sediment being shaken loose from the ceiling. It's probable that it's this sediment that had covered and obscured this piece as it was used last. Your group waits for it to finish opening. And is anybody doing anything? No. You wait, and as it opens, one of the party seems to access a data pad, and an individual piloting a very, very, we'll just say basic, is probably the best way to describe this. It's a flat personnel transport, meant for about 20, 25, if they're packed tight, not heavily armed individuals. Comes up out of the shaft, comes to the side, and lowers itself next to Sergeant Ishtal. You are being nudged, we'll say, onto the lift. Can I get a perception check from the forward party and the rear party? But it's 2 different things. Go forward party first.
51.
51, 5-1?
Yeah.
Okay.
77.
Oh, 57. Okay, I was like, no. I mean, great,
30.
but 30? Okay. Nothing dramatically present. Just a party of this group just on standby, it seems. You also see that the 2 individuals who had accessed the terminal are moving past this spot and appear to be kind of talking about the next piece of metal that's rigged to the wall. Now let's go with the rear group. Rear group, what do you see?
25.
25?
19.
28 from Adoa. And all pretty good. You can see that these 2 people are writing down the glyph, the ones that broke off. It's nothing crazy, but they're writing it down, and they're warming up heavy weaponry to presumably bring it down.
Sounds like a great idea.
Well, what are we doing now, everyone? At gunpoint, pretty much, the forward party is being pushed onto the lift.
Yeah, Alana's not fighting that. She's like, well, this is my life now.
Yeah.
Came down here to find stuff, found another inquisitorial party. Who would have thought?
Okay. And... Go ahead.
I was just curious. So, like, the platform that we're going on, the transport, is it just like a, you know, like a vehicle, like a, that goes, you know, regular forward and backward and all that sort of stuff, or is it like a lifting platform?
Good question. That's a really good question. This is a vehicle that allows for three-dimensional movement. It can't go very high, but it can go high enough that you are able to access it in this way. So it can, at great stress to the engines, it is able to come up vertically to meet the opening of the shaft and to come out, and then hearing the stress alleviated from the engines, you're able to see it kind of nestle to a light hover right in front of you.
Okay.
Great question. I wasn't clear on that.
Then Pistol would like to say, so how did you get this down here?
The sergeant says,
Sergeant, yeah.
do you... Where's the rest of your party? Last time I'm going to ask.
If I knew, I'd tell you, but I don't.
Ooh, sneaky.
Well, I'll let the Inquisitor tell you what he wants, if he even wants to talk to you. He probably will. But, get on the
Guess
list.
Can I
we'll see.
take my hook shot?
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, so you guys go on the lift. Not much hesitation or resistance there?
No.
Okay,
No.
so you go. And things are moving. You begin to hear first, because they wind up. And let's get a perception check from Pilar, specifically.
Okay. Mm, 59.
59. So you are not impeded or in any way hurt in a negative way by the effect, but you feel the rune almost cry out before the weapon's fire hits it. You can't explain it, but it's almost a scream before the salvo hits it. And it's not much long after the sustained fire that the scream fades away. And the large chunk of metal falls to great impact, shaking more dirt loose from the ceiling. Everyone in the party feels it. It's not just felt in the ground. Those on the hover feel it in their hollow organs. It's a thud that really resonates.
Me and Fidus are just gonna sit there and talk about how we would have done it. Like, did you see their grips on their weapons? Total amateur.
Absolutely. These guys
What is
work
this?
with an
A spray
Inquisitor,
and
he
pray
probably says.
bonanza?
Sure. Okay, yeah. Okay. Standards have fallen. So, the group that was shooting at the wall reconnects with the lift. The engines kick up, and with a twist, they move over the shaft and begin decelerating, or just begin descending. You can hear the heavy stress that the extra weight of the individuals, combined with the fact that these engines are not meant to kick this kind of thrust at a normal amount. This is not normal that they're meant to keep this kind. It's basically controlled falling, and it's done for quite a while. You can feel your ears building a little bit of pressure, but it pops, and you begin to descend. You descend for quite a ways, actually. In fact, it feels like 25-30 minutes that you're just going down. And you arrive at, well, let's roll perception.
Alana stared at the wall the whole time. 35, 40 minutes. It was for me time.
Sure, yeah.
58.
58?
I used up all
11.
my good rolls.
Mm-hmm.
74.
74?
11.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So. So, with an 11, we do have our group on the lift, the little transport, descending down to what feels like a stop. And it really goes down. It's a long stop. You feel the engines kind of wind down, almost exhausted. And the transport begins to move to one of the walls. Because one of the walls appears to be metal. In fact, it's kind of at an obscure angle. You notice, because of your perfect perception, you notice that this very, very, very large mining shaft, with its scores and neat, perfectly symmetric, spaced out little bore, corkscrew-like functions, have come to abrupt ends at a almost disturbing piece of metal sitting at an obscure angle, and it fills the entire view of your circular shaft. It's just sitting at a terrible angle, and it appears to be the entire shaft. It fills the entire thing, almost like a stop at the end, but it doesn't match the precision you've seen so far. You see that up in front of you, there are large lights that have been set up. Huge. It's daylight inside. There are no shadows anywhere in the front. They're secured to the ceiling on the sides, and it's all just shining this direction, filling the shaft with light. It's painful to deal with, but you blink it away. You can see that there are small battlements that have been secured here, and as your transport nears it, there is in front of you a large cargo. It looks like the door of a ship. It looks like some sort of naval craft in front of you, and most of the door is visible, but it's held open, and it isn't flush. You move past about 40 different guardsmen who appear to be all variation of haggard, each of them with the same emblazoned eye on their left breastplate. Very gaudy, very strange.
Wait, is it the letter I, or is
It
it
is.
like an eyeball?
It is the letter I, thank you.
Got it, okay.
And we do have, again, this battlement that's been secured here. There are mounted turrets. We have different, I would say, we'll just say that they're stationary individuals with very, very, very heavy guns that are not going anywhere. There's no power armor, but it's guardsmen who are just posted. You're not going anywhere, but they're pointed down a shaft. And they seem to be securing this cargo door. Let's take our attention back to the folks not at the hole. Up in your dark cave. What's up?
So, sorry to clarify, there was the assaulting party that split.
Mhm.
One went down a hole. The other split went to burn the metal off of the
rejoined.
wall in the room that we're in.
They're all gone. You were alone in this
Got
tunnel.
Cool. So I guess our best bet is to follow them, because there ain't no other entrances. So I'm taking Baxter's advice and ducking back into some tube.
Okay. So you guys head into the piping there. Is that right? Do you guys all follow?
Yeah, that seems
Okay.
like a good plan.
So you guys are doing that, and you can see as you move through this, you would kind of cut out a large section of the pipe that was in the middle, but as you work your way in the tube back, you can see that that pipe does have a descending shaft that you can follow the handholds. Again, worn, and Baxter and Fidus, I believe, yes, are going to have some difficulty the further down you go, and it goes down for a long while. You're looking at several breaks here if you don't want to just lose grip strength.
It's up to you, Baxter. How do you feel like gambling? Breaks or grip strength?
Perhaps this is their fate and we ought to leave.
Damn, that's cold.
Yeah, you know, it sucks to sucks. That's why you don't identify yourself to the cops. Wait.
Wait, we are the cops.
Oh, wait.
Can we still communicate with them with our little...
Give it a shot.
Ilana, can you hear me?
You can,
And Alana here.
but it's very
I can't.
crackly. Yeah.
Let's see. How is a good way to respond to that?
Could always
Are
talk
they-
to me.
Yeah, are they close to us still? The guards guys?
Oh yeah.
So, Sergeant such and such, huh? How'd you get to that position?
Yeah. She's gonna talk to Pistol. She's be like, Pistol, I do wish we could contact the surface.
Yes, as do I. And perhaps these other inquisitorial folks would be able to confer with the Inquisitor that we are here for.
What's our actual boss's name?
Kel? Is that?
No,
Mm.
our
Oh,
for
oh.
realsies boss.
Oh, I don't even know. 'cause we got the
Captain
guy-
Caveman. What's his name?
Captain
Merrick.
Caveman.
I wrote,
It's Merrick.
I wrote it down. Eric, that's right. Even if we could just contact Captain Merrick.
Yes, that would be an ideal situation to
Mm.
let him know of our position and alert him to the presence of other inquisitorial goings on here in our hive.
Well beneath it, yeah. Well, okay, so you are conveying that over Vox passively.
About how we just wish we could contact the surface to get this
Ladies.
all sorted out.
You're giving me all of the stuff we already know. Names, appearances.
Okay. And you said that to Alana and Pistol?
Can I
Yeah,
hear
you're on
as
the
well?
Vox channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's staticky, but you
Okay.
make it out.
So our guy is,
Sergeant, what was
Lieutenant?
your
Sergeant?
name
Ishtal.
Yeah.
again? Ishtal. Sergeant Ishtal. So, how long have you been under the what? I don't even know what the word is.
Employee.
how long have you been under
tutelage.
the command of Inquisitor Leotis?
Yes, under the command of Inquisitor Leotis.
Well, you're gonna have to roll fellowship.
Ugh.
Alana's gonna
Seduce
help.
this man.
72, no seduction here.
Ooh, that's a 30. And my
Should be a
fellowship
good
is
thing for
41, so
Lila.
that's like a full
Nice.
thing of success.
Okay. Well, and then, by the way, the team collectively rolled a 97 at discerning your efforts, so they have no idea what you're doing. So you're perfectly covert. And
Right.
Having our dumb conversation
Yeah.
with ourselves.
so, boy,
Remember how you
Even-
and I
yeah.
are related, Pistol?
Right.
You are my sister.
right?
That's true. That is so true, Alana.
I'm so
We
glad
are.
we are going to visit our grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's
for
the
whatever
that's
Together.
the and they're just like, oh, whatever, hive dwellers, and like just
Hive dwellers.
you know.
So
We
you
are-
are certainly not from the hive, then.
Oh my God.
Are you, Sergeant?
No.
Please. This hurts
No.
me.
We're the best.
Now I know how Lou feels anytime Nyla and Cecilia open their fucking mouths.
I wish Nyla was here right now. She'd be
I'm so
charming
glad
with
they're
pants
not.
off this
Oh my
guy.
Oh my gosh.
Nyla and
I'm gonna-
Sissy. Anyway, so here we are. We have the crew. They're doing the thing. They're very, very discreetly communicating their desired thing. What are you communicating? I mean, I've heard very little.
Well,
We have successfully communicated the sergeant's name and the name of the Inquisitor,
Mm-hmm.
And that they're under the hive. Deeper.
Mm-hmm.
and that we're
And they're
very
an
far
additional
under the
Inquisitor
hive.
force.
And they're happy to meet their grandparents, apparently.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
No, that was.
Did you know that Alana and Pistol were related?
It tracks. It tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna keep pointing out all the things that I see to Pistol as we pester Ishtal with questions.
Well, why don't we go ahead and
Yep.
roll another perception for you guys? You guys are passing the battlements.
Oh.
You're approaching the
Is
ship.
that power armor?
No power armor.
15.
15, hell yeah. And how about you,
27.
D-Beck? 27?
16 for me.
16 for you. Okay, so as you move forward on the transport, you move past the battlements. The people manning the lines, men, women, they're just kind of looking up and down, but they don't really even acknowledge in any other way the transport moving over them. And it just does, it kind of skirts over the line with a heavy thrust as it moves to gain vertical, and then it comes down. And as you approach what appears to be the side of this thing, this metal thing, they are... You can see that the door doesn't match this part of the tunnel. It is off by about 8 feet, again 3 meters. It's got a big drop off that thrown together ramps and gratings seem to have been used to assemble a marching and loading and unloading platform, and it appears to be hastily secured. It's seen some foot traffic. You can see that it's dirty from the soot brought in to the actual area itself, where there's just metal, because everything in front of you is metal. And while none of you have actually been on a ship before, you've seen the schematics. You've seen this and that. You've heard about them. And this appears to be the inside of a large naval vessel. Huge. And there are very, very large cargo bay lighting that are filling the area. You can see that tech priests are working diligently in numbers that you've never seen before. You've never seen tech priests of this scale before.
And they don't look like they're from our hive, right?
No. In fact, discernibly, these tech priests appear to be very, very active. Can I get a perception and a tech roll from everybody who's on that lift? I need both.
Okay.
23 for perception.
Mm-hmm.
15 for tech.
35 for perception.
Mm-hmm.
I got 7 for perception and 56 for tech.
What's your tech?
Mine was 28.
And hello?
Tech.
I rolled 56.
56. Okay.
Yes.
So, you have the least idea, but you can see what you don't know super well.
Great.
The tech priests here don't appear to be functioning lackadaisically. In fact, by comparison, it looks as though these tech priests are supercharged. They're not just kind of dawdling. like the tech priests you've seen. By comparison, you might even be able to say, the three of you, that the tech priests you've seen have been kept at half charge. They've really been limited in their actual function. Every tech priest you've ever seen is a fraction of the capability these tech priests seem to have.
Gotcha.
And there are
a lot of
about
voices
200
that
of
is
them
like
here.
Yeah.
That's
It's like, wow.
a lot
these
of
tech
tech priests.
And they move
That-
so much faster than I've ever seen anybody. It's almost like they are moving at double the speed all the tech priests that I've ever seen move at.
Wow, you guys copy that? I mean, isn't that interesting?
This is quite the battlements you've set up down here.
In a ship? Is this a ship?
I
Quiet.
think it's a naval ship.
Go ahead and roll. Roll better than a 3.
No,
God.
78.
Jesus Christ.
74.
That's a 46.
The Emperor's not
Is
smiling on us
to
right
make
now.
you reroll?
So he, one of the individuals who turns toward you, you can say Sergey, but you can see Sergey, but you can't see much more. There's just a glint, the bright lights, big change for you. It doesn't really offer a whole lot of opportunity for you to see a name, but he says quiet, and then leans away. Do you have a response?
Alana says, "Yes, sir," and then immediately just starts talking very quietly. to Pistol.
Yes, we now switch
And
to
Gaius.
stage whispers.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say stop. You said quiet.
Yep.
So, this looks like a naval ship, you guys. What would you say?
I've never seen one in real life before. And there must
Oh.
be what, like 200 guardsmen? These aren't
Tech
even
priests, 200
PDFs.
tech priests.
200 tech
Oh.
priests. How many guardsmen have we seen?
You aren't able to count them.
There's an
Yes, and an
There's-
innumerable amount of guardsmen as well.
It's just that you're not in a position to do it. It's not that it's innumerable.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
no, it's fine. We can still say that.
I
We're
mean, really, there's a
conveying that
shitload.
There are
Yep.
a shitload, that there are battlements, that people are posted on like mounted weaponry, that there are so many tech priests.
As you move
Our
through, you can
peaceful
see
hive
heavy,
has never
heavy,
seen such a situation before.
It's
Well,
like
yeah.
they're going to war.
and you can see heavy plating that covers the dock. And as it moves, it turns into grating. And beneath it, you can see. Now, here's where innumerable pops up: tubes, wires, lights to illuminate this and that under the grating. It is a mess and actually dizzying to look at. With the grating above it, you can see that there are several different transports of military, personal, and just kind of somewhere in between craft that are assembled or disassembled depending on the state of it. You can see their weapons being inspected, fixed, things that are hung from the ceiling in weight. There are different drop pods that seem to be worked on in different areas that are clearly sequestered for maintenance. It is a very, very busy and active scene that you've only ever really seen at, like, basically the festival. That's the only time you've seen anything like this. This much movement. Everyone seems to be on their own mission, carrying data pads, service goals, whiz above your head, far above the actual movement of the people below. Your transport, kicking exhaust, is kind of moving about 2 bodies height through the kind of loading area here, and then finds itself to a designated square where there are blinking lights and a guardsman using signals to bring you down. You land, all very mundane. Move! The individual who you saw was Sergey a second ago bellows at you. Hits you with the butt of the gun lightly and suggests that you follow the sergeant who's now stepping off the platform.
Mm.
I have a feeling we're about to lose contact with our friends. I hope we gave them enough information, speaking very loudly
Yes. I
to
hope
each
so as
other.
well.
Definitely
Yeah.
not to anyone else.
Definitely to each other.
Yep.
So, leaving this area, let's get a perception from each of you as you move into one of the many doors that seems to just kind of disappear into this large room. There are so many shafts, pipes, or wires. Nobody seems to be guarding the doors, but whatever. The sergeant and the group you're with move down one of the large hallways, about 4 meters across, about 3 meters high. This is a wide and tall doorway that slides open as you enter it. As you approach it, it slides open in the grating that you saw in the kind of staging area you were in. Continues down this hallway. More dizzying pipes and wires run beneath, barely lit, the grate that you're walking.
I rolled a 12.
12. Pilar?
Ooh. Yikes. 66.
66. You are able to see very little. However, we do have some kind of visibility. As you leave the dock, you can see a plaque there. And it's really it's really just guys who sees it. There's not going to be visibility from the other two. You kind of goes past you. You can see that it is in emboldened Gothic, high Gothic. It says on a gold plaque, Immaculate End. That's all.
How did
It's
they
just
get
the
that
ship
down
name.
here?
Huh?
How did they get that down here?
Yeah.
The plaque
And that
specifically,
is-
and the entire ship.
Yeah, how do they get the plaque down here? Seems difficult. But,
So it's just the plaque, it's not the whole ship?
no, it's the whole ship. I just
No,
thought it
I'm
was a
asking
funny
you
question.
why you're asking about the plaque and not how they brought a ship down here.
I think she was
Delana
asking
says
about the
that
ship.
out loud. How did they get this whole thing down here without us seeing it?
And it's the last bit of information you're able to convey. But if we go back to our tunnel team, the three of you in the descending pipetry, you see that same grating you've been used to, but it does break off into hallways where you can continue down or you can continue to the sides. Do you have a preference, hallway team? Or we'll just say it's the tunnel team.
So, like, the responsible thing to do would be to relay all this information, right? Instead of rushing head on and just, like, tossing ourselves to the lion. But that's, like, the fun thing. Thoughts?
Well, I don't know about you, but I could barely take one tech priest, let alone 200.
I could take 200.
Oh,
Oh, you're insane. Okay.
Badge is gonna pull out his wizard hat and put it on to join the insane party.
Sure.
Oh, you needed a fight.
And with your wizard hat on, can I get you to roll willpower, please? Just Nigel.
Roll a 1, please. Roll a 1.
87.
87. So you don't notice the correlation. But I want you to know that with your wizard hat on, you actually receive a nullification to a degree of 5 points to the warp taint. You don't notice it, but your stats should reflect with that wizard hat on, you receive a 5-point bonus to your willpower when it comes to the warp taint.
Oh, a bonus, not a.
It's a bonus. It's a bonus.
Okay.
So you are shielding yourself against 5 points, effectively, of willpower when it comes to that warp taint.
Sick hat. So, should we relay any of this information or go in knives ablazing?
Well, and again, just to clarify, you're way far away from that, area.
Oh yeah, I recognize we have so much climbing and moving to do. We're in our own world. But.
And you do have, again, just kind of junctures here, where if we're looking at this little map on the screen, you have several offshoots, which can take you down different mine shafts that were used by the original digging party. When they were doing the boring, you can actually go down these chutes still. Everyone else kind of went past them, but you have an opportunity here to investigate those if you want, or just continue down to the ship.
I don't want to investigate.
So, are we gonna go down these holes? What's even down here?
Well, I do love a hole.
What if hate it here. What if instead of using their proper militarily outputted ship for storage, they just left a bunch of junk in these tunnels, huh? Who wants junk? It's Petal. So
Well, so are you guys going to spelunk or continue after your party?
I believe spelunk, because if we don't at least spelunk and take breaks, y'all are going to take negatives to your climbing checks, aren't you?
Yep.
Mechanically.
Yep. But you
Let's
could just
spelunk.
pause as well. It's up to you.
Pausing,
Spelunk, okay.
no.
So you approach. Again, you're in tubes. You're in pipes for what are effectively pumping water. And you are able to take one of these down a hall. A very, very large hall from the little terminal that you can see. As you go down, you're noticing an increase in the data available. Can I get a tech roll from the both of you? Or anyone from Lindoa as well? 61.
Ooh, 8.
8?
Oh, you beat me. I got a 19.
Okay, well, those are fantastic rolls. So you guys look at the terminal, and you can see that less of the data is corrupted, and it appears that in what makes for a log, you can see that it's taking years longer than they expected. It's slow going, and they keep needing to change the way that they operate. Remember, at the beginning, there was abandoned equipment, broken bits. There were terminals with very, very little there. They had tried to use laser weaponry initially to bore quickly. That didn't work. It caused fires, death, huge problems. They had to shift to manual. You see this shift going. You saw that there was that huge fire as they changed their protocol completely and started including the giant, thick doors for sealing off the individual passages. You see those included. The methods are changing the longer that they're digging into the planet. They're going deeper and deeper and deeper, and they keep needing to change the methodology practiced to adapt to the painstaking efforts. They're getting through it. Again, this is your ancestors. Way long ago, back when you were better people. And they had much more at their disposal. Time, though, apparently, kind of a bitch. So it's taking a while, and you see that the terminals are becoming more substantial. There's a monitor here that shows that more supplies are needed, as it has taken just about 6 months longer to reach the ore than was expected. There's not much to see here other than the change in the protocol. Suggestion going forward that any further boring attempts, if this isn't the end, and it doesn't seem to be, need to initiate with a large surplus in the event that it does take longer the closer you get to bedrock. So you can see them adapting their methods. You have a door here. It's, again, in a tube, so it's not the full giant kind of... I mean, it's not the same as what you would see if you were in the actual tunnel itself. This is a clearing tube that has a little terminal here for you to head into the tunnel itself. You can go into the tube in the tunnel, so to speak. Is that what you're going to do? Head into the tunnel?
Want to see if there are any more crates?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So you move forward, and you can see, just as you've seen before, the emergency lights that dot the ceiling of the inside of this pipe. And you can see that there are service exits on either side, just as you've come to expect. You're welcome, of course, to keep going through the pipe, or you can interact with these service exits. It's up to you.
We're gonna hit up a service exit.
Okay. So, service exit. You open the door right away. What's going on? Kick it open. How do you do?
I make Fidus do it while I stand behind him.
Sounds good. He rolled a 5. So, he effortlessly, I'm just assuming he just kind of licks the finger and then whips it across the top of the wheel, and it just, greased lightning, spins like a top, and the door drifts open. And for no reason at all, you can smell a fresh field and flowers, even though none are present. It's just that slick of a move. And it's amazing. But it's quickly flooded with dank and oddly hot presence on the other side. Let's roll perception, you three. Well, the 94 that Lindoa rolled is not going to count. Why don't you guys tell us what you see?
92.
99. And then what'd you get, Roland?
I got a 9.
You got a 9. All right. So you see that there is equipment here. In fact, you see several of those crates set across from you. This is the same radius of a tunnel as the one that you were in last. It's a very, very, very large tunnel. You see that this time there are 4 tracks. 2 wasn't cutting it, that span along the floor of this tunnel. And you can see that this time there are large pieces of metal that appear to have been recently pried loose via heavy weaponry, resting, just in equidistant segments. This is exactly what you saw in the last tunnel. People have been here recently and attacked these pieces of plate metal. And it is resting in mostly dark at the places where they fell off the wall. You can see that a light layer of smoke is collecting. Again, it's that same... It's that almost greasy, odorless, almost invisible smoke that you recognize as the oil and the kelp from the major product export of your planet. That's kind of collecting, and with your keen eye, you can pretty well approximate that the hole in the ceiling that you see above you is probably the same hole that was in the floor of the last tunnel you were in. Or the tunnel you were in a while ago. It's a very, very large
So there's
chasm.
fire up there.
Fire at one end, and it appears to be the kelp that's on fire, which is interesting. But again, you did see the melta weapon. You saw the pieces of metal that have been severed from the wall. You can't make any real conclusions. But you do see a lot more crates. There's a lot more equipment, broken machinery. Not easy to tell right from where you are because there's none of that unusual lighting.
Anything stick out in the crates?
No. In fact, they're the same pristine shell that we've seen before.
So there's none of that weird lighting where we can see stuff.
No abnormal illumination.
So when the tech priest or what have you, whenever those people burnt down that hunk of metal in the room we were in previously, did the lighting situation change at that point, or did it just stay the same?
They weren't tech priests, and it quickly went into darkness. You saw it once at the initial point of contact. When they severed the plate, the darkness filled the area they were in, and you saw it again around the area of the lift. When they severed that, darkness fell over the area that you were present.
Got it. Makes sense. Cool. Sick hole. You rested enough to climb down?
Yes, I do believe so.
Okay, so you guys are going to leave this area alone, go back to the chasm, and head down?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. You're headed down, and we're going to take just a moment before we head back. We're at 4:17, and I want to touch base with everybody. Are we still okay with a little bit of an extended session today? How are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Pilar, how you doing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Golden. Can I suggest an intermission?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I want to get a drink, and it won't be long. I mean, like 12 minutes. It's 17 right now. Do you want to officially reconvene in about
At 30?
30? Does that sound okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Sounds
Cool.
like a plan.
Okay. So, party, do whatever you want. For our folks who are watching live, I'm actually going to pause it. There's no need to put you through that, but we'll be back in just a couple minutes. So I'm ending the stream temporarily, and then we're going to kick it back.